Okay, I had someone ask me a question over the homework, part 3 here, the more advanced equations, and they asked about questions like 77 and 79. So let me do one like 77, and then I'll briefly talk about 79. So here's one kind of like number 77, where this is going to be a sum difference identity. In fact, this will be sine of x plus pi over 3 is equal to 1/2. And so this, we didn't ever really do anything like this. So I'm glad that this person asked the question here. But you're going to treat this kind of like a multiple angle identity, except it's not something times x, it'll be something plus x, and this thing will be set equal to the solution. So using the unit circle here, 1/2 for the sine would be like right here, and you would have like pi over 6, and the 1 over here would be 5 pi over 6. Okay, now these are the two solutions between 0 and 2 pi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and set it equal to, we'll say pi over 6 plus k times 2 pi. And so what I got to do is I got to subtract pi over 3 from both sides. So if I subtract pi over 3 from here, it looks like I'm going to get 11 pi over 6. So so this would be x is equal to 11 pi over 6 plus k times 2 pi. Now if I actually did the subtraction, you're actually going to get negative pi over 3 is what you'll get here. You'll actually get negative pi over 3, not 11 pi over 6. But I like the angles between 0 and 2 pi, so I just backed up here like that. And then the other one here, I get x plus pi over 3 is equal to 5 pi over 6 plus k times 2 pi. And so then subtracting pi over 3 from both sides. So if I'm at pi over 6 and I subtract pi over 3, I'll be up there at pi over 2. So I would get x is equal to pi over 2 plus k times 2 pi. And so that will be the solution set. This one and this one. So so that takes care of that. Now the other one was one where, let's say I maybe had something like sine of I don't know, we'll say 5x cosine of x, and then let's say I have minus cosine of 5x sine of x, and we'll say this is equal to 1/2. Okay, and I don't think I need to solve this whole thing, but the point here is this thing is the sum difference identity. This time it's a difference. It would be sine of 5x minus x is equal to 1/2. And this becomes sine of 4x is equal to 1/2. And I guess I could go ahead and solve this here. This just basically becomes a multiple angle identity. I think I might have done one of these on the earlier videos, but there's 1/2 there. Pi over 6, of course, we just did it. 5 pi over 6. So you'd get 4x is equal to pi over 6 plus k times 2 pi. Dividing both sides by 4 would be x is equal to pi over 24 plus k times pi over 2. And then 4x is equal to 5 pi over 6 plus k times 2 pi. Dividing both sides by 4 would give you 5 pi over 24 plus k times pi over 2. So these would be your two solutions to that. Okay, so hopefully that helps with those. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know.